Y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama or maybe hide from your baby mama. Just kidding. Y si tú quieres cambiar tu vida, if you want to change your life, then subscribe. Ching. And by the way, guys, I just published my first book called Shabbat in Chicago. It's about an audacious single mom who opens her heart and home to five adopted kids while embracing her Latino culture while being Jewish. And today we have a very special guest. I had to bring him in the building. He's one of my longest childhood friends. Give it up for the one and only John McGuinnis. Woo!
I love it. It's good to be here, David.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. It's his honor. You don't understand, man. To have one of the main crew, like this is big. This is big. So look, I want to share so my fans to get to know us a little bit more. My favorite memory of us is like Tommy's birthday, Tommy Cox, and he just turned 12 or 10. I don't remember. We were young. All of us were in the same age. But it was so cool in our car ride. We have Carter in the back talking about how strong he is. It was so funny. And like we have Rick, we got everybody. We're all in the car. And I like that I was the oldest. I felt like the big brother almost, just a little older, just by like a year or two. But it was just so cool. I felt like I'm with my brothers. We go paintballing. And I remember, we're all like getting hit, right? And I remember one time I didn't move. I stayed all the way in the back. I waited until everyone ran out of ammo or they got hit. And I finally come out. It was just so cool. But I still lost, but I still try, you know what I'm saying? Try to be sneaky. But after that, we go to the farmhouse, Ann's second home. It was like at Barrington. It was so cool. Had like a campfire, marshmallows. We watched some movies. But that was honestly one of my favorite moments I could remember that really stood out. And that's how we got close. I'm gonna be honest. You and I we talked the most, and that's my memory. But what about you, brother? Any memories you could think of?
Yeah, maybe give the listeners some background here first. So yeah, grew up in downtown Chicago, which was a unique situation. Definitely to be a young gunner in the city and being exposed to everything that Chicago has was a pretty fortunate experience. And on top of that, we had probably 15, 20 close guys that we did everything together. And yeah, Tommy's birthday, that was a hell of a birthday party. Yeah, I'm not going to get into any specifics because that weekend was one to remember, one to send off. I think it was probably like right before I ended up moving out of Chicago, moved to Cleveland. But yeah, we go back a long time in Chicago, and we had a good group of friends. I think that before that paintballing trip, you were with us every step of the way, whether it was baseball or cross country or birthday parties or Cubs games. We did it all together.
That's true, bro. We were boys. Oh
Yeah,
man.
I don't really need to get into any specifics. I mean, there were sometimes I don't want to incriminate myself for doing anything wrong, whether it was airsoft guns, paintball, yes, of course, fireworks, motorized scooters, whatever we did, man. We were a bit of a menace, but we did it in good taste. I think we had a lot of good times to reflect on.
I love it, brother. I love it. You know what? I want you to talk a little bit, if you can, brother, about like, family, right? Family for me, for example, it means so much. It's
Yeah.
they say that blood is thicker than water. Um, I think so in a certain extent. I think like, the Cox family, you guys are family. We get to pick and choose, as well, who we decide to be part of that family. And brother, please, if you could share a little bit about your family growing up, especially, your father, right? One of the great, humblest people I can ever think of, man. If you could share any, really nice stories that you could remember growing up, that would be beautiful. I think that would
Yeah,
mean a lot.
for sure, for sure. So, yeah, as I alluded to, grew up in downtown Chicago. I was born in downtown Northwestern Hospital. Knew like all of my childhood friends from Chicago, pretty much from day one. Our circle of friends, it obviously grew the older we get into elementary school and beyond. But yeah, so we played a lot of sports together. That's I think how we established our friendships was through sports, whether it was baseball or cross country or flag football, soccer. We all went to school together, so that was pretty fun too. But yeah, I mean, with a lot of friends, you have a lot of the family that comes with those friends, and so we were pretty intimate with everyone's family. I think it was kind of just understood, in a big city like Chicago, you got to stay close with the people you trust and you love, and we did that certainly, and so we grew up together. Every moment that we were awake, we were doing something. And yeah, unfortunately, I lost my father actually when I was 10. And it's funny. My dad, I have a fond memory of this, but my dad would always say that the Coxes were a very unique family. They were, a very normal family. They cherished, you know, the family values and good things in life and working hard and doing the honest thing. And so, my dad wanted me to be around people like that, and so, as well as my mom. And so we were close families, and we spent a lot of time together. And then when I lost my dad when I was 10, the Coxes kind of stepped up. With whatever they did. They did it with a really kind and genuine intent. They brought me in and helped me through that pretty traumatic experience as a young buck. But yeah, you do say family is blood is thicker than water. I'd say even like the friendships can be, on the same playing field as family. And that's what the Coxes were to me. I think we saw each other what this time last year at Tommy's wedding. So we've all kind of grown up at the stage of where we'll start in our own families if we do have, our partners and stuff. But it was wild to see some of those guys like you, Dave, David. Um, what 20 years later, um, at Tommy's wedding, and not much has changed. I think we still have a lot of the same qualities and characteristics that we had when we were pretty crazy kids in Chicago. But yeah, I have to say some of my Chicago buddies are obviously the same as family. And especially when you grow up in a city like Chicago without your father figure in your life, you kind of have to lean on your friends as family, because I have two sisters and a mother, and so I was the man of the house. And at the Cox residence, it was you, Chuck, Tom, you know, and it was it was us. So we had to find a way. But yeah, just so many good things that I can think of. It goes on and on. I mean, I don't want to get into specifics because maybe I don't remember, but we did have a good time. So yeah.
I love it, brother. That was deep, man. That was deep. I gotta say, man, the fact that you brought up the wedding, right, or Tommy's wedding, To see
Yeah.
you, man, I was so happy. Yeah, I gave you a big hug. I said, "Oh, that is John McGuinnis, brother." I was so happy, and we took a lot of, we drank a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I drank both of those nights a lot, and but it was so nice to be with the crew and Tommy finally getting married. It's a big move. I'm so proud of him. I got to say, the wedding was so smooth, beautiful. It was just a great time, man. And man, it's crazy. Like you said, 20 years went by. That's unbelievable, brother. That's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and to that point, right? Like 20 years went by, and we probably had, I don't know, 5 to 7 years together as the first pivotal moments of our life as young men. And 20 years can go by, and we can still pick up where we left off, and laugh about some of the things that we used to do and got away with, and yeah, it's pretty crazy, and I expect it to last another 2, 3, 4, as long as we're alive, we're going to be in touch. That's just how special it was, growing up in a city. Because right when you grow up in a big city like that, your neighborhood is what you make it. Um, you know, we primarily lived on the north side. Tommy was on the north side, but everyone was kind of scattered around the city, and so we, went through the fabric of Chicago. We navigated it without knowing much, and we learned quickly. Got slapped in the face by some of the tough parts of Chicago and the good things about Chicago. So yeah, it was a blessing to grow up there, and I wouldn't have traded for anything, for sure.
Oh man, that's amazing, bro. I love it. And brother, please, I have to know this. Like, I'm shocked that you live in Denver now. What made you move there, bro? I'm really curious. Was there a girl that you're like, man, she got my heart. I gotta go. I'll catch y'all later. You know what I'm saying? What was it, brother? Spill the beans, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not the
Yeah,
queen,
no,
but
yeah. So actually, I moved out to Denver right after 2 weeks after I graduated college, and I have some family out here. So that guy kind of goes back to the overarching theme of what I value a lot, which is family. And I have a few friends out here, but it's mostly just a jump to come out west and see something new. And lucky enough, I did find a lady that was crazy enough to actually continue to date me. But yeah, we now have a place in Denver, and we've been here for 7 years. She went to school out here, so been here since 2016, which it's been a wild ride. I mean, it just goes by like crazy fast. You know,
whoa,
it's nuts that it's been 20 years since we were riding around in Chicago.
dude, that's crazy. And you know what's funny? When I went to LA, right? And I was like, brother, I'm gonna hit you. So I hit up Carter, you, and Rick. And
Yeah,
I was thinking you lived in Cali for some reason. I don't know why I thought you lived in Cali. And I was like, brother, I'm here. Let's hang out, let's get some drinks or something. And you're like, brother,
yeah.
I'm not there. You're saying, you're saying I'm in Denver.
Yeah, that might have stemmed from the drinks at Tom's. I mean, yeah, Tom had this just ridiculous wedding. I think there was a bartender every 10 feet. If you turned around, they would have a perfectly made cocktail. But yeah, actually, I spent some time in LA. James, obviously, part of the crew, he lived out there, and I was doing a lot of work out there. So I probably spent, every few weeks, go back out to LA, do some work, and stay with James. And Carter spent some time in LA too. So yeah, we've spanned from East Coast to West Coast. Now Tom's in New York. So, but yeah. Now we started in Chicago, and now we're all over the United States. So it's good to stay close, and wherever you land, I'm sure that one of us has got some connections there. So
That's true. That's true, brother. You gotta come visit me in Vegas. Like, you know,
I
this
know.
is a big city.
Right, right. So my girlfriend's brother lives in Summerlin, and I was going out there a few times a year a few years ago, but actually they just got married in Guadalajara. It was a beautiful wedding, and they're still in Vegas, and they're planning to stay in Vegas. So next time I'm out there, man, we'll meet up, do Vegas the right way.
Hey, I'm ready. See, brother. I have like, bro. I gotta take you to some good, like, dope restaurants and like, Fremont's my favorite spot. That's where, like,
Really,
all the locals go. It's just it's a different vibe. I love that everything's 24 hours, and
yeah.
it's just a different vibe. It just feels like, you're back in Chicago almost.
Can you imagine like? So actually, some of the so you remember Jacob, right? Snake.
Yeah, the big guy. He was a big guy, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. So some of those guys brought up his bar mitzvah tape recently, like when we were 13, and Akon came out with "Smack That," bro. We were we were absurd at that age, in down Chicago. But yeah, yeah. Some after we weren't drinking when we were 13, but yeah, the older we got, we tend to gravitate towards the basement at Tommy's, and yeah, that was a good time. I'll tell you that basement has a lot of funny stories.
Oh man. That's dope, brother. That's dope. Well, look, brother, like I said, I'm so happy to have you on the show. It was an honor.
Yeah,
It was so fun to catch up, to talk about life. And I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Guys, this is the Outlet to Reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching! Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the Outlet to Reality. My Snapchat is Take One Pass It, and my TikTok is at Yaakov28. And brother, where can my fans find you? Yes.
bro, you can't find me. You don't need those. You need that. But if you're ever in Denver, ask David. I'm happy to show you a good time.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.